All right. Today, we're jumping into a fascinating and honestly pretty hilarious story about one person's quest for ultimate digital freedom. It's a tale of massive high tech ambition, some really lofty dreams, and a reality that's, well, let's just say it's a bit more down to earth than you'd expect. So, right out of the gate, our hero's mission is crystal clear. Look, this isn't about pinching pennies on an API call, no way. This is a full blown declaration of independence. It's about totally rejecting the big tech model, taking back control. This is a quest for pure, unadulterated sovereignty. And this big dream? It's all about building a locally hosted AI. The entire goal is to create a system that is completely self contained, an intelligent machine that answers to no one, where no data ever leaves the basement. You got to admit, it's a pretty noble goal in our cloud-first world.
And when you look at the goals, they make perfect sense. If you run your own intelligence locally, you get total data privacy. That's a given. Having zero dependency means if some big company's API goes down, who cares? Your system just keeps on chugging along. And optimizing the entire stack, that's the holy grail for any tech enthusiast. On paper, this plan is flawless.
Okay, so what kind of monster reg do you think you'd need to power this kind of ambition? To run a modern AI model all by yourself, you're picturing some serious top-of-the-line hardware, right? So let's pull back the curtain on the machine that he affectionately calls the Goliath.
And here it is, our first major plot twist. The promise is absolutely cutting edge. A powerful Gemma AI, a massive 128,000 token context window, run completely raw for the best possible quality. The reality? An Intel i3 processor from about a decade ago, and just 6 gigs of RAM. Yeah, you heard me right. There's what you might call a slight mismatch between the software and the hardware here.
But hey, that's not stopping him. Our hero goes for it, and he hits that enter key with the kind of force and conviction of someone who is about to make history. The command is sent, the Goliath whirs to life, and now we wait. So this is the moment of truth. This is where that big, beautiful dream of a super fast, local AI runs headfirst into the cold, hard laws of physics. And 13 minutes go by. I'm not talking seconds here. 13 entire minutes. You know, in the world of computing, that is an absolute eternity. You could have rendered a whole movie trailer in that time. But here, we're just waiting for one single response. And what has been accomplished in those 13 agonizing minutes? A staggering 1/100%. The system isn't just slow, it's basically frozen in time. The dream of sovereignty is sinking fast in some kind of digital quicksand. You can just feel the denial starting to creep in. He's trying to rationalize it, blaming the huge model, the heavy data files. He's clinging to that core belief, it's local, there shouldn't be any lag, even when all the evidence is screaming the opposite. That final right? Oh man, that's just heartbreaking. So what is really going on? Yeah, the CPU and RAM are weak, we know that, but this level of failure is something else. It feels like there has to be another hidden culprit here, some secret bottleneck that's choking the entire operation. Let's just think this through. Could that ancient processor really be the only problem? Or is the tiny amount of RAM the thing that's bringing it all down? Or is there something else in this so-called optimized stack that we're not seeing yet? So the investigation begins. We start following the cables from the machine, and it is a total rat's nest of old wires. Looks like a museum exhibit. But what's weird is they don't just go to the wall outlet. They actually lead outside. And as we follow these cables, we start to hear it. A sound that if you're of a certain age, you will never ever forget. That is the unmistakable screeching symphony of a dial-up modem connecting to the internet. Just to put that into perspective for you, a modern fiber connection can be over 18,000 times faster than this thing. The sovereign, local system built for independence is somehow chained to the world by the slowest, thinnest digital thread imaginable. The irony is just, wow. But you are not going to believe this. The modem isn't even the wildest part of the setup. The whole system finally just gives up, flashing a fatal error. And that leads us to the final and most fundamental piece of the Goliath. And that's it. Game over. The machine is completely out of memory. The context it was trying to load was just way too much for it to handle. This wasn't just a bottleneck, it was a catastrophic collapse. So what on earth was actually holding this all together? So let's just forget about the CPU, the RAM, even that ancient modem for a second. What is the fundamental power source that's driving this whole ambitious project?
It all comes down to a single, decidedly low-tech and lumpy. A brown potato. Yes, you heard me. The entire setup, the computer, the monitor, that screaming modem, it's all plugged into a potato. The grand dream of digital sovereignty, literally powered by a vegetable.
And that really says everything, doesn't it? The principle of local sovereignty is awesome. It's a powerful idea. But as our friend here found out, the real-world application might come with a few minor performance issues.
So it leaves us with this final thought. This story, as ridiculous as it is, actually gets at a very real debate in technology. It's that constant battle between the desire for control, for privacy, for independence, versus the raw power and convenience of centralized systems. So where do you draw that line? How much are you willing to sacrifice for a principle? It's definitely something to think about, long after the potato runs out of juice.